Welcome to the Senior Techie Podcast. Usually, when you think about moving to a new home, there's a whole established process.
Right, yeah.
You get boxes, you fill out change of address forms, maybe your family comes over on a Saturday to help pack up the garage.
If you're lucky.
Right. But recently, a massive life-altering move happened in your life, and you probably weren't even asked for your input.
No, definitely not.
I mean, you didn't move your money online. Your bank did. Medicare did. Social Security did.
They all did.
Yeah, one by one, every massive financial institution you interact with just packed up and migrated to the internet. And nobody sent you an orientation packet.
And that transition, it really happened almost overnight in the grand scheme of things.
It did.
And that gap, that empty space between, my life savings and benefits live on a server now, and I actually know the mechanics of how to protect them, that is a highly lucrative territory.
Absolutely.
Because scammers, they just thrive in the margins of our unfamiliarity.
Which is really the core of what we're tackling today. Because here at the Senior Techie, we talk to so many people who feel like technology is this wild, untamed frontier that just left them behind.
Yeah, it's a very common feeling.
But the truth is, you are deeply, entirely capable of mastering this. I mean, it requires learning the landscape, sure, but not getting a computer science degree.
Exactly.
So let's look at the reality of that unfamiliarity gap, because the recent data, it paints a pretty stark picture.
It really does. The numbers from the Federal Trade Commission, they're sobering.
Yeah.
The FTC recently reported that Americans aged 60 and older lost $2.4 billion to fraud in 2024 alone.
2.4 billion, wow.
Yes, and that represents a 400% increase from 2020.
A 400% jump in just 4 years. I mean, that means the tactics are getting better, right? Not just that more people are online.
Oh, absolutely. The tactics are incredibly sophisticated now. And honestly, that 2.4 billion, that's probably just the tip of the iceberg.
Wait, really? Because that's already a huge number.
Well, the data strongly suggests that. Because the FTC estimates the real number factoring in people who are maybe, too embarrassed to report the fraud to their families, or who just haven't realized their accounts were drained yet. It could be as high as $81.5 billion.
Oh my goodness, 81.5 billion. I mean, those numbers sound like a perfectly logical reason to just unplug your router, march down to the bank, and hide your cash in a coffee can in the backyard.
Right, yeah, the coffee can method.
But our mission today is the opposite of fear. Today is about installing a sense of control. Because we're going to help you build your digital front door.
I love that analogy.
Think about your physical home, right? A solid door has a strong lock, it has a heavy deadbolt, and you have this personal rule that you evaluate who is standing on the porch before you turn the knob.
Exactly.
Your online financial life requires that exact same layered architecture.
And the physical analogy works perfectly here because the digital vulnerabilities are basically identical to the physical ones. You do the heavy lifting of installing the hardware once, and then the system just does the work of protecting you automatically.
So let's start at the foundation, the lock itself. Because if the lock on your front door is weak, installing a fancy security camera doesn't really accomplish much.
No, it doesn't.
We have to address the password problem. Because the temptation to reuse a password is universal.
Oh, we all do it.
We all feel the pull to just use the dog's name and a birth year for everything because, well, human memory has limits.
Right. We simply aren't wired to remember 40 strings of random alphanumeric characters.
No.
But reusing a password for your email, your checking account, and then like a random online shoe store, that's the physical equivalent of using the exact same metal key to unlock your car, your front door, and your safe deposit box.
Right. So if a pickpocket bumps into you on the street and steals that one key, they don't just get your car.
Exactly. They get your entire life.
One stolen key compromises the whole system. And in the digital world, that pickpocket isn't usually a person targeting you specifically, right?
No, not usually.
It's a data breach at a random company. So the shoe store security fails, hackers steal your password from their servers, and then they use automated software to try that exact same email and password combination on thousands of banking websites.
Yeah, within seconds.
Yeah.
And the defense against that automated attack is a tool called a password manager.
Okay, let's define the mechanism here, because I think people get intimidated by that term.
They do, yeah.
Think of a password manager as a heavily armored physical bank vault. Inside this vault, there are hundreds of unique, highly complex keys. So a different key for every single door in your digital life.
Right.
You don't carry those keys. You don't even need to know what they look like. You only need to memorize one thing, the combination to the heavy vault door itself.
Your master password.
Exactly. When you need to log into your bank, you open the vault, and the vault automatically hands the bank the correct key. It removes human memory from the equation entirely.
It's brilliant because it generates passwords that look like a random explosion on a keyboard. It stores them, and it just fills them in for you.
But the hesitation most people have, and honestly, it's the smartest question you can ask, is about putting all those eggs in one basket.
Yeah, it's always the pushback we get from the community at the Senior Techie.
Right. If I put the keys to my entire life into an app like 1Password or Bitwarden, and that company's servers get hacked, haven't I just handed my entire identity to the criminals on a silver platter?
It's a very fair question. But the counterargument to that single basket fear is a mechanism called local encryption.
Okay, break that down for us.
So when you use a reputable password manager, the company itself never actually sees your passwords.
Wait, really? Never.
Never. Before your vault has ever sent over the internet to their servers, the app on your phone or your computer scrambles the data using incredibly complex mathematics.
So it turns it into unreadable gibberish.
Exactly. Pure mathematical noise. And the only thing that can unscramble that noise is your master password, which, again, is never sent to the company.
Ah, okay.
So if a hacker breached the password manager's headquarters, they wouldn't find your bank passwords. They'd just find a mountain of scrambled code. They literally do not possess the key to unlock your vault.
So it is vastly safer than relying on a notebook in your desk drawer, which offers zero encryption.
100% safer, yes.
So for anyone listening who wants to reclaim their security this weekend, let's talk about some options.
Yeah.
Because we look for tools that don't assume you're an IT professional.
Right. Usability is key.
1Password is widely considered the gold standard. It costs about $3 a month, the setup guides are incredibly clear, and it integrates smoothly with almost any device.
Yeah, 1Password is great. Another strong option is NordPass, which runs around $1.29 a month.
Okay, that's affordable.
Yeah, and its main advantage is a very streamlined autofill feature that really minimizes the number of clicks required to log in anywhere.
Oh, that's nice. And for those who prefer a free option, Bitwarden is highly respected.
Yes, very much so.
It's open source, which means independent security researchers are constantly auditing the underlying code to ensure there are no hidden vulnerabilities.
Right, and if your primary frustration is, just typing out your address and phone number on online forms over and over, RoboForm is excellent.
Oh yeah, RoboForm.
It's about 99 cents a month, and it really excels at securely automating all of that typing.
But the strategy for adopting any of these isn't to spend 6 hours on a Sunday migrating everything you own, right? That's too much.
Oh, way too overwhelming. Just install the app. Start with your primary checking account. Change that one password.
Just one.
Yeah. Then tomorrow, do your credit card. The next day, your retirement account.
Build the fortress one brick at a time.
Exactly.
But here's the logical next step. Because even with local encryption, even with complex passwords, what happens if you are tricked into typing your master password into a website that just looks like your bank?
Yeah, that happens.
The lock is compromised. So a secure front door requires a mechanism that doesn't rely on memory or passwords at all. It needs a deadbolt.
And that digital deadbolt is two-factor authentication, often abbreviated as 2FA.
2FA.
You might also see it labeled as two-step verification. But the concept is straightforward. Providing a password is only factor one. It's something you know. Factor two requires something you physically possess.
Okay, so think about walking into a local bank branch to withdraw cash. You slide your withdrawal slip to the teller with your account number on it, but the teller doesn't just hand you the cash.
No, they ask to see your driver's license.
Right. They demand a secondary, distinct piece of proof that you are the person associated with that account number.
And the brilliance of two-factor authentication online is that it utilizes an entirely different communication channel.
How so?
Well, when you log into your bank, you type your password over the internet, then the bank pauses. It sends a temporary 6-digit code via a text message over a cellular network to the smartphone in your pocket.
And that is the true defensive power of this system. Because a hacker in another country might be attacking your bank over the internet,
Right.
but to actually get into your account, they would have to simultaneously hack the bank over the internet and tap into the global cellular grid to intercept the text message going to your specific physical phone.
Which is incredibly difficult. It really stops automated remote attacks in their tracks.
So you should definitely enable this deadbolt on your banking, your investment portals, and government sites. But the most critical account to protect with two-factor authentication isn't actually your bank, is it?
No, surprisingly, it's not. It is your primary email address.
Because if someone breaches your email, they basically hold the master key to bypass every other lock in your life.
Exactly. Think about it. If a scammer wants into your retirement account, but they don't know the password, they just go to the login screen and click Forgot Password.
Oh, wow. Right.
The retirement account automatically sends a reset link right to your email. So if the scammer controls your email inbox, they just click the link, log you out, and drain the funds.
That is terrifying.
It is. So securing your email with a deadbolt is the single most effective action you can take.
And to set it up, you just log into your email provider, locate the section labeled Security or Account Settings, and activate two-step verification.
Yep. And if you are trying to secure your bank account and you cannot find the setting, just turn your debit card over. Call the toll-free number on the back and tell the representative you want to enable two-factor authentication.
Yeah, let them do the work. They will guide you through the menus.
Exactly.
So now that the door has a scrambled vault for a lock and a cellular text message for a deadbolt, we have to look at the highest value rooms in the house.
The really important stuff.
Yeah. For most of us, that means the government accounts holding our lifelong contributions, Social Security and Medicare.
Let's address aso.gov/myaccount first. Because the Social Security Administration is currently undergoing a massive security migration.
Right, things are changing there.
Yeah, by June 2025, the legacy username and password systems are being entirely retired.
Oh, okay.
To access your portal, you will be required to use either login.gov or ID.me, which are these centralized, highly encrypted identity verification services used across multiple federal agencies.
And once you navigate that transition and log in, the visibility you gain is immense.
Yeah.
I mean, you aren't just looking at estimated benefit.
No, you could audit your lifetime earnings history to ensure every dollar you paid into the system was actually credited to you.
Which is huge. And you can verify that your direct deposit routing numbers haven't been quietly altered by someone trying to siphon your monthly check.
Exactly. And Medicare.gov operates on similar principles, utilizing ID.me, login.gov, or a service called Clear.
Right. And the advantage here is really shrinking the timeline of vulnerability. Because in the past, you waited 3 months for a dense, confusing paper summary notice to arrive in the mail.
Oh, those statements were a nightmare.
Yeah. By the time that paper arrived showing a charge for a motorized wheelchair you never ordered, the scammers had a 90-day head start.
Right. But with the online portal, you have 24-hour visibility.
Yeah.
You can see claims the day after they're processed.
So if you spot a blood test you never took or a clinic you never visited, you just call 1-800-MEDICARE immediately. You cut off the fraudulent billing cycle before it drains the system.
And honestly, setting both of those up takes maybe 20 minutes on a Saturday.
Yeah, it's very doable. But all of these technical safeguards, the password managers, the cellular text codes, the encrypted portals, they share one fundamental weakness.
The human element.
Yes. The heavy lock and the solid deadbolt offer zero protection if a criminal convinces you to willingly unlock the door and invite them inside.
Which brings us to the psychology of modern scams. Because the days of, easily identifiable emails with terrible spelling from a fake foreign prince, those are over.
Long gone.
Today, the criminal stands on your digital porch wearing a perfectly tailored, highly convincing uniform. I mean, tech support scams alone drained $159 million from older Americans last year.
$159 million, just tech support.
Just tech support.
Yeah.
And the vector of attack is changing too. Criminals are utilizing social media platforms at an alarming rate.
Oh, definitely.
Losses originating from social media contact have multiplied nearly 9-fold since 2020. And the attacks are categorized primarily as phishing or tech support scams.
So let's translate phishing into the physical world. Imagine a criminal walking up to your front door wearing a very realistic utility worker uniform. They bang on the door, holding a clipboard, and manufacture an absolute adrenaline-pumping emergency.
Right.
They tell you there's a massive gas leak in your basement, and if you don't let them inside this very second, your house will explode.
And your logical brain just shuts off.
Exactly. Your survival instinct kicks in, and you open the door.
That phenomenon is actually called an amygdala hijack. Scammers are not trying to hack your computer. They're trying to hack your nervous system.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
They bypass your critical thinking by triggering panic. But if we expose the specific patterns they use, the illusion shatters.
Okay, so let's walk through those. The first pattern is the manufactured timeline. Urgency. You receive a text message claiming your bank account will be permanently frozen in exactly 24 hours unless you click a link to verify your identity.
But real financial institutions do not manage multi-million-dollar banking networks by issuing 24-hour ultimatums via automated text messages.
Right, they just don't do that.
The second pattern relies on authoritarian fear. So a phone call claiming to be an agent with the IRS or the Social Security Administration, stating there is a warrant out for your arrest due to unpaid taxes and the police are en route.
But the IRS does not initiate contact regarding unpaid taxes with an aggressive phone call threatening immediate arrest.
No, they send letters. Lots of boring letters.
Exactly. Now, the third pattern is the most absolute non-negotiable red flag in the entire financial world. Gift cards.
Oh, gift cards, yes. If the person on the phone, whether they claim to be a federal agent, a Microsoft security technician, or even a grandchild in legal trouble, directs you to drive to the pharmacy and purchase Target, Apple, or Visa gift cards to pay a fine or a fee, you are speaking to a scammer.
Wait, so there are no legitimate reasons for that?
There are zero exceptions to this rule. Gift cards are the currency of fraud because once you read the numbers off the back of the card over the phone, the funds are instantly liquidated and untraceable.
So no legitimate government agency or corporation accept retail gift cards as legal tender?
Never, full stop.
Wow. Okay, and the fourth pattern?
The fourth pattern preys on technological insecurity, the unsolicited browser pop-up. So you're simply reading a news article and your screen locks up. A blaring red warning appears, claiming your computer is infected with a catastrophic virus accompanied by an 800 number you must call for immediate tech support.
Let's explain the mechanism of what is actually happening there. Because your computer hasn't been scanned. The website you're on simply loaded a picture or drawing of a scary warning box and programmed it to take up your entire screen.
It's just a digital poster.
Right. Apple and Microsoft do not monitor your personal laptop for viruses and then display their customer service numbers in a browser window. If you dial that number, you connect directly to a criminal call center whose sole goal is to convince you to grant them remote access to your machine.
And the defense against all of this really comes down to one operational rule for your digital life. Never click a financial link.
Yes, that is the golden rule.
If you receive an email that possesses the exact logo, font, and color scheme of Bank of America, claiming there is suspicious activity on your account, do not click the button in the email.
You open a new blank browser tab, and you manually type the bank's web address yourself. You walk through the front door you know is real.
Exactly. Because if there is a legitimate security issue, there will be a secure message waiting for you in your authenticated portal.
Absolutely. So, okay, we've secured the locks, installed the deadbolt, and learned how to spot the fake utility worker. The final layer of our digital front door involves maintaining the perimeter.
Right. Security lighting.
Yes. In physical terms, we need security lighting. And in financial terms, security lighting means having uncompromising continuous visibility into your daily cash flow.
And this visibility is uniquely critical for listeners managing a fixed income.
Yeah, because a fixed income leaves very little margin for error. But honestly, it is actually much easier to forecast than a fluctuating salary, provided you have the right illumination.
Definitely. And there are several sophisticated tools designed to automate this visibility.
What are some good ones?
Well, for those who want rigorous, granular control, there's an application called YNB, which stands for You Need a Budget.
Oh, right, Y&D.
Yeah, it operates on zero-based budgeting, so it forces you to assign a specific job to every single dollar that enters your account. It makes it impossible for money to quietly slip away unnoticed. It costs roughly $14.99 a month or $99 a year.
Okay, what if they want something a bit broader?
For a broader view, Simplify by Quicken is around $3 a month. It excels at projecting future cash flow by combining multiple streams like a pension, Social Security, and required minimum distributions.
And what about couples?
If you are managing finances as a couple and need to collaborate seamlessly, Monarch Money offers excellent shared dashboards.
Wow.
That one's also about $14.99 a month or $99.99 a year.
Gotcha.
And for those focused entirely on the longevity of their assets, Bolden, which was formerly known as New Retirement, is engineered specifically for retirement modeling.
Oh, that's helpful.
Yeah, it helps project how long your savings will last under various inflation and tax scenarios.
Now, I want to add a very important caveat here. Because connecting your actual banking data to an application on your smartphone, well, that can feel like a bridge too far for many people.
Very true.
If the idea of syncing your data causes anxiety, do not do it. The goal is the visibility, not the software. A simple, free Google Sheet or dedicating 15 minutes a week to a physical paper ledger achieves the exact same security lighting.
Exactly. The software just automates the process. What really matters are the proactive habits you build around that visibility.
Yes, because relying entirely on your bank's fraud department is a reactive strategy. They usually alert you after the money has left the building.
Right. So let's detail those proactive habits.
Yeah.
First, set up push notifications or text alerts on your checking and credit accounts for any transaction over $50.
That's a great tip.
If a scammer in another state buys electronics with your compromised card number, your phone buzzes before they even leave the store.
Wow. Yeah.
Second, shift your statement review from a monthly chore to a weekly habit. 5 minutes on a Sunday morning is all it takes to verify your ledger.
Just a quick check-in.
Third, utilize annualcreditreport.com. It is a free, federally mandated service that allows you to pull your official credit files.
And doing that once a year ensures no one has used your Social Security number to open a secret line of credit.
Exactly. And finally, never access your financial portals while connected to public Wi-Fi networks at a coffee shop or an airport.
Let's explain why public Wi-Fi is a vulnerability, because when you sit in a coffee shop and connect to their free network, you're essentially shouting your digital conversation across a crowded room.
That's exactly what it's like.
Unless the data is perfectly encrypted, anyone else sitting in that room with the right software can listen in on the data passing between your laptop and the router. Always wait until you're on the secure private network inside your own home.
When we pull back and look at the architecture of this digital front door, it requires a shift in how we view the threat. Scammers are operating a high-volume, low-effort business.
They cast a massive net across the internet looking for the path of least resistance.
They're walking down the street, jiggling doorknobs, looking for the house with the door left wide open. By utilizing a password vault, activating cellular deadbolts, and keeping the security lights on your cash flow, you simply drop off their radar. You don't need a background in cybersecurity. You just have to present a slightly harder target than the thousands of other people who've taken no precautions at all.
So true.
And before we wrap up, I want to give everyone a final thought on where this is all heading. Because the truth is, in a few years, passwords might not exist at all.
Wait, really? No passwords at all?
No passwords. The tech industry is aggressively moving towards something called passkeys, where your accounts are secured by your fingerprint or a facial scan, essentially tying your finances directly to your unique biology.
Oh, wow. That's a huge shift.
It is. So the habits you build today, organizing your accounts and auditing your security, they aren't just about protecting your current bank balance. You are actively training your brain and your routines for the entirely passwordless economy that is rapidly approaching.
Wow.
The tools change, but the vigilance remains exactly the same.
That is such a fascinating point. This podcast was brought to you by The Senior Techie. It's available on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. If you'd like to receive their free newsletters, you can subscribe at subscribe.theseniortechie.com.